you. Thank you for taking a minute out. You got a lot going on in your world.
I do.
That's a good thing. So,
Yes.
before we get into the good work that you're doing and how you got to this point in your life, 4 years ago, we were going through quite a thing with COVID. We were all
Yeah.
trying to figure out how it was going to affect our worlds. How did you make it through that time period and how did it change you?
So COVID had a profound impact on my life. I would say almost life altering. I was a person who was personally affected by COVID. I was hospitalized for 7 days,
Wow.
oxygen treatment for 3 months afterwards. And it was a real battle. Very conflicting experience in Florida. Our governor had approved the experimental drug. And interestingly enough, I don't think I was really in support of this experimental drug. However, it's the drug that saved my life when I was in the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, and really you could only get it. It was in certain areas and things like that. And the doctors came to me and told me, I think you need this. I think it would help you. I think the symptoms that you have, you're a great candidate for it, but I need you to sign off in order for us to take it. And I have to go to another facility, get it transported in. And I signed off, they did it, and I'm here to tell the story. Um, but so I was personally impacted. I lost a couple of family members during that experience. And so, yeah, it really was very, very interesting. I think one of the things that people don't realize about that COVID experience is the long term implications and how it affects you cognitively. I mean, I could barely watch a TV show, a 30-minute TV show, and I couldn't tell you what happened at the beginning of it.
Wow.
So having that oxygen deprivation was had more of a long-term effect than I even anticipated. I had been a strong facilitator and trainer, and I could give me, 3 bullets and I could facilitate for 30 minutes to an hour. And just my short-term memory recall was so off that now I was back to using note cards in order to effectively do my job. And so it's been a year and a half, and I'm just starting to feel normal again.
That's the weird thing about this whole disease. Like you come across as very healthy and strong, and the fact that it laid you out is wild.
Yeah,
Because there's other people, like I know somebody that I work with, their son got it and has long-term effects, and it's totally going to stay for the rest of their lives. And then you get other people that are like, yeah, I got it, and I coughed for 2 days and went back to work. I mean, it's like
yeah,
the nature of this is something that I don't know that scientifically people are going to be able to understand until much later on. Like, why did it affect you and your specific genome in a way
hmm,
based on who you were and the health that you were at? And for other people, it did nothing. They may have been asymptomatic. It's weird. The whole
yeah.
thing's
I have
weird.
2 kids that were asymptomatic, and that's how I got it. So
Wow.
the first week of school, my kids went to. I sent them to school, and by that weekend, I have 4 kids. My 2 sons, we believe, had it first. My daughter had not attended school, but she was the first person to start showing symptoms of it. So we tested her, and then we tested them, and she was the only one that had really left the. They were the only ones that had left the house. So
Wow.
we know that it came from them, but they were asymptomatic the whole time. It never impacted them. Um, my husband and my 3 sons, they all had it, no real severe impact at all. My daughter was sick, and then I was hospitalized.
And you created these humans that came
Yes,
from
my
you.
own little humans.
And it's like that's the weird thing. Oh man.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's move into your work. You got so many things. When you look on paper, you have author, speaker, you're a consultant, you're a leader. But if I was to put you in front of a bunch of third grade students at career day and one of the kids said, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
Um, I would say I teach people how to lead others.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what did you want to be in the third grade? What was your dream?
From what I can remember most of my life, well, actually, you know what? 3rd grade, my mom has a letter to prove it.
Uh-huh.
I said that I wanted to work for Toys R Us.
Oh, good.
Yes.
What kid
And
wouldn't?
huh?
What kid wouldn't?
Yes, that's what I said in 3rd grade, and I actually had a chance to fulfill that dream. I was a manager of Toys R Us, Babies R Us for a few years.
Nice.
She reminded me that I said that when I was younger, when I got the job. She said, "You know, you said that when you were little?" And she found the paper that I actually said it. But
Wow.
most of my life, I wanted to be an attorney.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, I still can't believe Toys R Us is gone. Like the whole thing was like a dream.
They're making a comeback. They have a small
Okay.
comeback in Macy's stores, so they
Okay.
have a little area in Macy's. But I'm hearing that they're going to be full store locations coming back pretty soon.
You should be the poster person for Toys R Us with that letter. Are you kidding me?
I
You
know, right?
Right. They have those Chick-fil-A commercials where it's all sappy and you got the piano playing and they're like, I was in the hospital for 6 months and the first thing I wanted was a sandwich when I got out. You
Yeah,
could put that letter up and say, this is what I did, have a picture of you with the name tag. It would be
yeah.
perfect, you know?
I think you're onto something.
Lifetime honorary member. So,
Yes. Yes.
so let's get to how you got to this point of being somebody that's helping leaders in this world. How did you go from Toys R Us to being an attorney to where you're at today? What were the seeds that were planted in you?
So, what were the seeds that were planted in me? I would say, maybe it's my birthright. So I am an older child. I
Yeah.
have 7 brothers and 5 sisters between my
Okay.
mom and dad.
Okay.
And I'm the big sister.
Hmm.
So I have my nature is in nurturing and caring for others and being protective of looking out for other people's well-being. So it started really early for me. I had my first supervisory role at about 19 years old. And so I probably haven't experienced much work where I wasn't in a leadership position.
Gotcha.
And so my whole career has been cultivated around how do I lead, inspire, role model, teach, develop other people.
So it's almost in your DNA. Yeah, you just see that. That's a part. Like I was
Yeah.
joking around the other day about to an entrepreneur. If you took entrepreneurs and made a TV show and put them in like a regular blue collar job, they'd all get fired the first day.
We wouldn't survive.
It'd be over with, you
You know,
know?
I'm surprised that I survived as long as I did in corporate America, and I've been very ambitious. I wanted to reach, to the top, and I wanted to be, perhaps a COO or CEO of a large, Fortune 500 company. That was, what my latest goal had been. And then over the last 5 years, it started to evolve and change. But I thank God he allowed me to make it to director level in a major company so that I could taste it, so that I could see it and
Yeah.
experience it to realize that it wasn't me.
So you get to give good advice in grooming leaders, but what's the best advice you've ever gotten?
The best advice I would say I've ever gotten was such a great question. So many people have made really good deposits in my life, but someone told me it's never as bad as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems. Like when you're in the thick of it, it's never as bad as what it seems. And sometimes you can't wait for the storm to stop or for it to stop raining. You have to learn how to dance in the rain.
That's it. I
So I like
I
to
al-
dance in the rain.
There you go. That's right. I always remember that movie years ago called Very Bad Things, and things wouldn't stop happening. And
Yeah.
I think about that because I think one
Yeah.
guy at one point, like halfway through the movie, said, "My God, how much worse can this get?" And it's like, you have no idea. Like, there's always something waiting around the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
So, the one thing about leadership is that every leader has to have a role model or someone to look up to. Who has been that hero or role model for you?
Wow, it's kind of hard to narrow that down. I've been so fortunate. I've had 7 bosses over the past 20 years, 7, 8 bosses over. I am friends and connected to each one of them. They all added something different um, to my life. As far as role models right now, um, person that I currently just really, really look up to is my pastor. Um, I admire that she's in a tough position, not a tough, but she's in a position of giving consistently all the time of herself, of her time to others. And she does it so gracefully. And I say, man, I don't know if I could be a pastor's wife.
Yeah,
It's just, I mean, it's your weekends. You're there in people's times of need, and when you need, they don't treat you in the same capacity. You don't get to era in the same way as other humans. People consistently see you as a role model. You can't get angry at the Publix. Like it requires so much composure, so much empathy. And I just admire her ability to do that. And it's like I have an ounce of it, I have a little of it. But what I enjoyed about corporate America is I could fire the people, you know?
Yeah.
And she doesn't have that capacity. She still does this thing where she loves people anyway. And I just like, man, like I admire it so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you could meet one person alive on the planet right now that you find fascinating, who would it be?
Fascinating. Michelle
Yeah.
Obama.
I
Yeah.
I did
I find her very, very fascinating.
I just listened to her book and there was a rumor, my stepdaughter was telling me there was a rumor that she was going to run for president, but when I got to that last chapter and she explained what her possible ambitions were, I was like, "Huh, there is no way she can get anywhere near politics."
Yeah. No, I don't think she do. But when you talk about someone who's just smart and just strategic, and then she's balanced having the family
Mhm.
and the professional career, and it's a real challenge. And from I don't know all the ins and outs, but from what it looks like, she doesn't thrive on perfection.
Yeah.
She thrives on authenticity,
Mhm.
and I can appreciate that.
She's unwavering. She just hasn't changed. I mean, I think she had to because her husband was the president of one of the
Yeah.
biggest countries in the world, but I still
Yeah.
think there was this backbone where it was like she was protecting her children. She was trying to maintain a sense of what she grew up with in Chicago, and she didn't
Yeah.
want to deviate from the backbone that she was given from her family.
Yeah, I get the same sense. I think you described it just
Yeah,
brilliantly,
it's
brilliantly. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. So let me ask you this. You have this capacity of helping people. You're not just going to a job, you're helping others get to a better place. But you also have to take care of yourself and evolve as a human being. What is
Yeah.
that motivation every day for you to get out of the bed and to do all that?
Putting on my own oxygen mask before I put on someone else's. I know that I impact others. I know that the roles that I have are very important. And so it's very, very, it's high priority for me to take care of myself. So I make sure that I maintain high morale and high accountability to the things that I need. Self care is big. I try not to skip the things that, just add fuel in my tank. I like my nails a certain way. I like my hair a certain way. I like, massages occasionally. I like to read. I read at least, one or two books a month. And so I do those things to fill my bucket and it keeps me lifted so that I can help pour into others.
So you're
And
speaking
then my
about the
children do motivate me too.
of
Like
course.
there
Oh,
is
of
no
course.
sleeping past 7. Like
Yeah. That's the cornerstone of all of it. But going through this experience with COVID, did it feel like was there a level of it that was near death? Did it change your perspective on life?
it did. I realized that I had over prioritized work. And I over prioritize work that didn't serve for my purpose.
Yeah.
I think that in being sat down, because I'm a busybody, so being sat down, can't move, attached to an oxygen tank, it allowed me to think critically about what's most important to me, what impact do I want to make in this world, and are my actions aligned with that?
Yeah.
And I realized that I was making an impact. I was helping a company make a lot of money. I was developing a lot of leaders, but I also was capping myself. There were so many more leaders out there for me to develop.
Yeah.
There's so many more people out there for me to impact. And so that experience was kind of like the pause or the fork in the road to make me really start thinking. And it's sometimes it's scary to move backwards in order to go forward.
Yeah.
Because I had to walk away from a six-figure salary in order to rebuild my second career. But I would tell you, I've been happier than I've ever been. I feel more aligned with my purpose, and the relationships and the community that I'm building now has made it worth it.
So what's been your favorite client success story so far?
Favorite client success story. Ooh, I have a client who works and provides disability services to people with disabilities. And I was able to, come in as he was structuring the business, setting things up. He's such a great listener, just such a great listener, but new to management, new to just leading other people. he went from not able to maintain the 5 or 6 employees that he had into with my coaching and my training and consulting with his brand. He now has what 30 employees, has expanded his territory, and now lives in a more comfortable space because he understands how to manage people better. And so I'm super proud of just the level of retention he's been able to maintain when he was circling through people right and left. And so we put some systems in place, and I talked to him on what it's like to take a step back and how to fly at the right altitude because he was flying too low. He was trying to get into all the details instead of your job now is to lead the people who are doing the job, not do the job for the people.
Yeah.
And so just really helping him align and structure his business in the right way, and to see him now thriving, and he does check-ins with me and he's excited to sit down and brainstorm. But every time I talk to him, it's like he's hit another milestone and he's really held on to those systems and they're working for him. So I'm super proud of it.
So if you have a dream tonight, you run into that 18-year-old version of you, you can give that young version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom you've gained in your life up to this point. What advice would you give that young version of you?
I still say worry less.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of unnecessary, just mental space and worrying and not trusting that it will all work out. And questioning my own abilities. And it all literally worked out.
Yeah. So of all of the things that you've done and evolved into in your life, what are you the proudest of?
I'm the proudest of my children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, I have a new book that's coming out. It's called Raising Justice, and Justice is my oldest child. She just graduated from college 2 weeks ago at 19 years old. I was pregnant with her at 19. And so to see my life as the 19-year-old pregnant girl walking the campus and now produce the 19-year-old college graduate, it makes me super proud. And
Yeah.
then I have her 3 brothers who are also doing very, very well. I have a child going into kindergarten, 6th grade, and 12th grade. So it's exciting.
Yeah, you're
Very
busy.
proud of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I'm powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm powerful. I am a leader. And I'm impactful. So I think very highly of myself. I think of myself as a role model. I think of myself as authentic. I'm a person that, again, I don't operate in perfection, but I operate from a high place of empathy, forgiveness, and grace.
So if anyone wants to pick up your latest book, they want to hire you to be a better leader, any of the good business, where do they go?
They go to DorisJackson-Shazier.com. They can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Shazier Coaching Consult. But I would love to hear from them.
Excellent, Doris. Stay strong. Keep doing the good work. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. So great meeting you.
Great to meet you.